Alright, so what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper, and I want to welcome everybody to a brand new video on the channel. What we're going to be doing today is ranking every single perk in Black Ops 4 Zombies from worst to best. Now, in Black Ops 4, there's quite a lot of new perks that have so many different unique features and attributes, so we're going to be ranking all of them today, seeing which ones are the worst and which are generally considered to be the best. Now, before we fully jump into the ranking today, if you guys end up enjoying the video at all, a like rating would be very much appreciated. We're going to aim for 5,000 likes on this video. That would be awesome. I know you guys can hit that. And also, make sure to subscribe if you are brand new to the channel so that you don't miss any more videos just like this or live streams that I do. We're getting so close to 200,000, which is our goal, and we're quickly approaching it. And also, guys, be sure to let me know inside of the comment section, what is your favorite perk in Black Ops 4? Everybody's going to have their own opinions on this. Some people are going to have the reasonings about why they like a perk better, and that's absolutely fine. I'm interested to hear your responses to this. Just let me know your favorite perk in the comment section, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on ranking every perk in Black Ops 4 Zombies from worst to best. Alright, so coming in at our worst spot today, the worst perk in the game in my opinion has to be Stone Cold Stronghold. Now, some people actually kind of enjoy this perk. I don't, for a couple of reasons. It forces you to not be mobile at all, which is the complete opposite of how I like to play the game. Basically, if you stand in a stationary spot for long enough, a blue circle will kind of appear around you, giving you more damage and armor and stuff like that, which is pretty cool, but it's a good, like, kind of defensive perk if you're holding down something or whatever, but it's just not one of those things that really fits into my playstyle. The pro version of the perk, or the modifier, really isn't anything to write home about either. It's just what you get on the box, just plus extra. You get more damage and armor, so it's cool. And I guess if you like a more campy playstyle in zombies, then this will allow you to hold down a camping position for much longer, so it's good for that. But I don't see ever myself running this as one of my 4 perk slots. Maybe if I had a 5th or 6th potentially, but it's going to be a no for me, dog, otherwise. Now, coming in above on that one, but still in our very lower tier, is going to be Mule Kick. Now, Mule Kick is kind of one of those outdated perks. I feel like it peaked as far as effectiveness in a game like Black Ops 1, where it really mattered if you had more ammo and a 3rd weapon. In Black Ops 4, we have elixirs and all these kind of specialist weapons, all these new unique mechanics. I don't think Mule Kick is as valuable as it used to be. However, if you do run the modifier, it has a couple of cool things. You're able to switch weapons faster. It will also tell you exactly what slot is your Mule Kick gun, so if you lose it, you'll know which one you're going to lose if you down. And also, if you down and replace Mule Kick, you'll get your 3rd gun back, whatever you had before you died. So that's a kind of cool feature, but I just don't think that it's still competitive with the other perks in this game. I don't know. In my opinion, it's never really something that I feel like I need in any capacity whatsoever. Sometimes if you want to run maybe 2 primaries and a wonder weapon, yeah, sure, maybe Mule Kick will be great for that, but when it just comes game to game in regular play, it's not something I ever feel like is very useful at all. So climbing up and coming up above that is going to be 2 perks action. I'll explain why this is. It's going to be Deadshot and Secret Sauce. I'm not really sure where to put Secret Sauce, so I'm going to kind of compile this one with Deadshot, because it can really end up being anything. But Deadshot, if you're not running the modifier version of the perk, the Odin or Tonic slot, then there's really no reason to use it, because the modifier will give you a headshot damage bonus if you go on a streak, but if you don't, it's pretty much just letting you auto aim snap to the head. It reduces recoil, some stuff like that, but it's just very underwhelming as a perk. And when it comes to Black Ops 4 and you have a very limited selection of what you can use, so you got to make all of them count, Deadshot just really doesn't do it for me. It's good for like the camping strategy you guys probably know about on Blood of the Dead. If you want to get, you know, crazy amounts of XP just getting headshots and camping it out, it's cool for that. If you want to combine Stronghold and Deadshot, it can make a pretty deadly combo, but it just doesn't really fit into my particular playstyle. And also, I'm going to put Secret Sauce here because it doesn't really count as its own perk, because it can literally be any of them in the game. So I'm going to compile it with this one. Secret Sauce is cool for challenges, but as far as, you know, doing real runs, I don't recommend it, because you can end up with something really garbage or maybe even really good. It's a coin toss, and I'm not really up for that. So coming in next on our list, still pretty low, but it's getting to that middle tier. I think I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but it's going to be Bandolier Bandit. Now, this perk is going to allow you to essentially carry more ammo in your magazine always, and also if you have the modifier, it will refill your guns while it's in your back pocket, which is a cool feature, but I just think it's the definition of overrated, right? Unless you're running wonder weapons, that's the only real use I can see out of it. Otherwise, every gun is pretty easy to restock or refill ammo for, and I don't think Bandolier is one of those things where I would put it very high on my priority list. Now, if you guys didn't know, this perk concept actually existed all the way back in World at War, and they finally brought it in, finally, to BO4, along with some other perks aside it that can, you know, help it do some cool things. But I just don't think that Bandolier is one of those priority perks or a crutch perk. I know a lot of streamers and players just really enjoy this for the extra ammo that it gives you, and wonder weapons, and just all around, and I completely respect that. But just for me, I don't ever really feel like it's something that's of major use. I don't love it, I don't hate it, it's just like a whatever perk to me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the perk coming in above from that I like slightly better, but not too much better, it's almost on the same level, is Winter's Wail. Now, this is essentially Scuffed Widow's Wine from Black Ops 3. It does the exact same thing in theory, but just in practice, it's not at all like Widow's, for a couple of reasons. Winter's Wail, if you're running just the straight up standard version of the perk, only gives you 2 charges in which the zombies will freeze as they hit you. Similar to Widow's Wine, like they'll get unfrozen and they'll break out and start to be moving again, but unlike Widow's Wine, you cannot collect your charges back at all. You have 2, then the perk has to cool down, and it does actually take quite a while for it to cool down as well. If you're in the pro version, you get an extra charge, but that's really not saying much. What's better about Widow's Wine is that not only did it slightly reduce damage when you take a hit, but it also freezes the zombies. You had 4 charges, and there's ways to manipulate to get your charges back, or to grab more Widow's Wine grenades after killing more zombies. So it was just a more creative perk in my opinion, and Winter's Wail just kind of feels like a regression to me, or a step back, and I don't like it too much. I don't see myself ever running it unless it gets a buff, or somehow we can hold a 5th perk slot. Just as it is right now, it's not doing it for me either. Now, the perk coming in next on our list today is pretty much middle of the pack. This is going to be Death Perception. This is probably the most average perk in the game as far as something that I like or dislike. What this allows you to do, the standard version of the perk, allows you to see enemies through walls as they kind of come around corners, so you don't get surprised and things like that. You can kind of make decisions before they actually need to happen. But if you run the pro version, you can also do damage to more like mini boss enemy weak points, which is in fact very, very useful. You can kill Brutuses faster. This is very good on a map like Void to Despair, where there's mini boss zombies literally everywhere. So I guess I enjoy it in that regard, but I don't think it's really useful if you're a seasoned zombies player to be able to see zombies around corners. It's unnecessary, as if you're playing with a headset or something, you should be able to hear zombies, or if you've just been playing for long enough, you'll know when they're, you know, spawning, or kind of you have a general direction of where all the enemies are coming from. So if you're new to zombies, this perk might help you out a lot and help you understand the spawns and get you used to the game and things like that. But if you've been playing zombies for, I guess, more than 1 or 2 years and you understand the game, this perk, aside from the mini boss damage, if you're playing the pro version of the perk, is really going to be useless to you. So the next perk we have today is PhD Slider. This is starting to get into that higher tier, but it's pretty much still in the middle. Now, some people love this perk, some people hate it. PhD Flopper, the community outcry was heard by Treyarch, and they brought this perk into the game. Now, it's not quite like Flopper how it was back in the day. This version, you have to kind of slide to increase charges, and then you slide into a zombie to blow them up, similar to the explosion back in the day of BO1 and 2 and things like that. But it's really not quite exactly what it was. It does not completely eliminate explosive damage either, which to me was the most valuable asset that it had. I didn't really care about the dolphin diving thing. Like, it was cool, but it was just kind of like a meme, right? It wasn't really a practical gameplay function, but it was fun to do. You can do the slide, and I guess it's kind of fun as well, but it doesn't give you that complete elimination of explosive damage. It reduces it, but that's almost not enough. The pro version also allows you to have farther slides when your character does into their animation, which is a very, very useful tool, which I wish was part of Stamina Up and not PhD Slider, but I get it, like, I understand. And also, not to mention, this perk is 4,500 points, which is so much for a game like Black Ops 4, where the point system is not quite exactly how it used to be. Now, finally, getting into our higher tier of perks, the one that we have right here is going to be Time Slip. Now, this is a favorite perk for a lot of reasons to a lot of players. What this allows you to do is do anything that requires a cooldown, such as like traps, the mystery box, pack-a-punch, everything that you can think of, even elixirs if you're running the pro version, specialist weapons and equipment, all cool down mega fast. You can hit the box super quickly. So Time Slip is good if you're trying to play high rounds and you're doing a trap strat. It's amazing for that. It's also really good for if you're maneuvering the map, you need to use fast travels quite a bit. And I think overall, Time Slip is definitely a very worthy perk to put in one of your 4 slots. Like, no matter what, if you're running Easter eggs, if you're just playing the game just to play it, or you're doing high rounds, anything it's going to have a practical use for. And I think at the end of the day, that's what's important in a game like BO4 is practical advantage per each perk. So that's why Time Slip gives a very, very high spot up on my list. The next one on our list today is what I'm going to consider high tier. This is Victorious Tortoise. This is a perk that I actually thought that was going to be junk when it dropped in the game because I didn't really understand it, but I finally see exactly how this is useful. Now, if you're not understanding what Victorious Tortoise does, this is a perk where if you have your shield in front of you, you can pull it out. It will protect you from all sides. So essentially what this means is that when you're holding your shield, you are invulnerable as long as that shield is still active from all sides. Like, you physically cannot take damage or die when you have your shield out. So all you got to do is just make sure that that is in good shape and you can keep continually replacing it as you're running around. Now, this is great if you're running in high round strategies and more close quarters things. You can quickly pull out your shield, and if you're kind of passing a horde, to not take any damage whatsoever. I didn't know if I was going to like this perk or not, but after a lot of playing with it and some testing, doing some different strategies, I actually really like it, and I had to place it high tier. Originally, it was going to be lower until I really discovered about how good it actually was. Now, if you run the pro version of the perk, the modifier, you're also able to knock down mini boss zombies with your shield, which is cool. I mean, I don't think that in itself is mega useful. It's interesting to do, but it's something to keep in mind if you are running it in the Odin or Tonic slot as well. The taking our spot above Tortoise is a perk that I like slightly better than it. This is Electric Cherry. Now, back in a game like Black Ops 2 and 3, if you've played with that perk in those games, it was a very like lower tier or maybe an average perk, you could consider it. It just basically shocks zombies as you reload and stuns them around you, and it does the same thing in BO4. However, there's a new feature to it. What they've done is reworked it to where the more empty your magazine is, the more brutal the shock is going to be. So if you're running a weapon that only has one in the mag, such as like a Blundergat or maybe two, if you completely drain it and then you hit them with the shock, it's most likely going to kill them even in higher rounds. It's an amazing perk if you like to run a more fast and aggressive playstyle, which I tend to play that, and it's kind of like the substitute for Tortoise. I'm either running those two in my soda slots. Now, I don't recommend you put Cherry in the Tonic because the modifier really isn't super useful, so run it as one of the other three, and I like to substitute it for either of those two perks, but I love Electric Cherry because it just fits my playstyle so well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, getting into our god tier perks, the highest ones in my opinion that are the best in the game, this one is going to be Quick Revive. Now, I believe that there's still a little bit of misconception when it comes to Quick Revive in solo. As far as like being effective in just one player, this works way different than all the other games. Quick Revive now allows you to regenerate your health faster after taking some hits. So normally you would wait like around 5 seconds for the recharge to start, and then you'll get it back in small increments on your bar. Now, what Quick Revive allows you to do is get those bars back quicker and in bigger chunks. And I'm telling you guys, this is something that you need to have in my opinion. Whether you're a high rounds player, you're an Easter egg guy, or you're just a general player, staying alive while using Quick Revive is pretty much necessary. Honestly, what it just comes down to at the end of the day is that you're mathematically going to be less likely to die as long as you have some degree of being able to use your movement around zombies. You're going to die less just because you're going to have higher tiers of health. You'll be regenerating it faster than other teammates or the people that are not using Quick Revive, and I pretty much never play without it. It goes on my Brew slot or the Danu slot in either the Ether or Chaos storyline. I'm always running it as that first perk, and that'll probably never change. And also, the modifier is really useful because if you just revive a teammate, you're both going to get a like movement speed boost. So you can never go wrong with it. Quick Revive is amazing, hands down, and that's why it has to come in on our god tier slot. Now, the next absolutely god tier perk in Black Ops 4 Zombies is Dying Wish. This perk is literally incredible and is a lifesaver, and that's no joke. What this perk allows you to do is when you take fatal damage, instead of taking it down, you're going to go into a berserk mode, which your melee damage charts just kind of just shoot way up, and you can destroy any zombies around you. And also, not to mention, you are completely invulnerable during this time, and this is going to allow you to, instead of taking it down, escape with your life. And this perk does work on a cooldown, so you can use it again instead of dying, and this will save you a lot of games otherwise where you die out a lot quickly. If you're not running this, you're just setting yourself back. But I don't recommend running this in the Tonic or Odin slot because the pro perk modifier is going to allow you to, instead of coming back with 1 HP, give you full health. But I don't think that's useful because, in my opinion, after you use your berserk mode, you should use that generous amount of time that it gives you to get safe and then get your HP back. And especially if you stack that Quick Revive, you'll be back at full health in literally no time. So it's good, but I wouldn't run it in the Odin or Tonic slot. But otherwise, it's an amazing perk to have. It is a must run for every single game, and I cannot recommend it enough. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to rank as the best perk in all of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies has to be Stamina. Now, this perk is a staple of Call of Duty Zombies. It's an OG from back in Black Ops 1, but in this game, it is significantly reworked in a way that if you run it in the Pro version, in the Tonic or Odin slot, this is the way to play it. If you play the Pro version, this is going to give you unlimited full sprint, meaning that after you sprint for a while in BO4 Zombies, you still do have technically unlimited, like you won't stop at all, but your sprint will slow down. However, if you're running this perk, you will be at full sprint always, no matter what. When it comes to the pace of Black Ops 4 Zombies and just how much you need to move and rely on your sprinting, this perk could not be more clutch. Like, my priority every time I play a game is to get my perks as quickly as possible, just for the fact that I can strictly move like an angel once you have stamina up. And this is the perk that I will 100% say bring into every game, no matter what. Unless you're running a camping strat, if you're just running around and if you're doing Easter eggs or whatever, always run this. The perk is also pretty cheap in comparison to all the other ones in the game, so it's pretty much a win-win all around. Try it out for yourself, see how you like it, and in my opinion, this will be the best perk, unless a new one gets added, that somehow surpasses this hands down. But I love Stamina Up so much, it is literally the GOAT. But anyways, guys, that is going to be the list for today. That is every perk in Black Ops 4 Zombies, ranked from worst to best. I really hope you guys did enjoy my list, and also let me know in the comment section how you felt about the list, and also what your favorite perk in BO4 Zombies is. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like rating. It helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to do that before you leave. And also, go join my Discord server and follow me on Twitter. All that stuff will be linked down below, and I really would appreciate that. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching once again. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you all on the next stream or the next video. Peace out.